Good morning all of you. Hello friends. We are going to study about the Discomycetes fungi. In previous lecture we are already studied the Pyranomycetes fungi, Ascomycetes fungi, Plectomycetes fungi and Hemiascomycetes fungi. Next next subclass is the Discomycetes fungi. Discomycetes fungi is a disc-like cup-shaped fungi also called as a cup fungi. The Discomycetes fungi. The general characteristic of the Discomycetes. The common members these members is called as cup fungi. The cup or saucer-shaped usually fleshy ascocarp is known as the apothecium. The fruiting body is a single fruiting body is called the main fruiting body is called as the apothecium. Apothecium is a cup-like structure, so called as the cup fungi. Next, the apothecium is vary in color, such as apothecium red in color, yellow, orange, brown, black, or sometimes are colorless. Apothecium is a colored fruiting body present in the Discomycetes, such as the red color, yellow color, orange color, brown color, black, and colorless, sometimes absence of the color. In habit of the Discomycetes, fungi are mostly saprobic. All of you know that the saprobic fungi means the found growing in a high humidity on a soil such as humus, dead logs, or wood, and some members are found in dung of the animal substrata. Is that clear? This the fungi grows on dung substrata such as animal substrata is known as coprophilous fungi. All of you know that. This shows the saprophytic made of nutrients, and this shows the coprophilous in nature. Saprophytic means those fungi grows on dead and decaying. This all of it. This term is all of you know that. Next, the most of the Discomycetes, the ascocarp, are above the grounds. The ascocarp, the fungi, above the ground level, above the ground, they are called as epigenes. So called as the epigenes. The Pizziza is also known as the epigenes because the plant body is above the ground, so called as the epigenes. The epigenes Discomycetes are divided into following two groups, such as the operculate Discomycetes and inoperculate Discomycetes. Firstly, introduce the operculate Discomycetes. The ascospore escapes through an apical circular pore at the tip of the ascus by splitting the ascus at the apex. These groups include the two orders, namely Osrotophales and Heliothales. Is that clear? Inoperculate Discomycetes containing the two orders such as the Osrotophales and Heliothales. Next class such as the operculate Discomycetes. The ascospores are released through a performed apical pore, which open by a lid-like structure. At the apex, lid-like structure, this structure is known as the operculum. Is that clear? The lid is also called as the operculum. Is a high at the top of the ascus. This structure produces in high top of the ascus. This is known as the operculum. So also this structure is known as lid-like opening, small natural opening. Is that clear? Next, the operculate Discomycetes comprise a single order such as the Pizziales, which is a discussed order Pizziales. The order includes about the 500 species grouped under the 57 to 60 genera. Almost all are saprobic, grow to dead, rotting wood, such as the tree trunk, branches and stumps of the tree. Next. A few of them as interesting as they grow on the waste matter or particular animal. सम फंजा वेस्ट मॅटरवरती पण फंजाय काय होतात तर ग्रो होतात अँड पर्टिक्युलर ॲनिमल सो कॉल्ड ॲज डंग पर्टिक्युलर दिस टर्म यूज डंग ॲज वेल ॲज द ॲनिमल सबस्ट्रॅटा. नेक्स्ट ॲस्कोडर्मिस porcina grows on horse manure. The common example of the Discomycetes such as the Pizyza, Morchella, Pyronema, Coprobia and Ascobolus. Then systematic position of the Ascomycetes fungi according to the Ainsworth in 1973, division Ascomycotina, class Discomycetes, order Pizzaceae, family Pizzaceae, genus Pizzyza, species Vesiculosa. Species is the Vesiculosa. Next is occurrences, also known as its habitats. Over 100 species of the Pizzyza are known according to Korf in 1973, and a majority of them occur. They are the saprophytics during rainy season on dung. Saprophytic during rainy season on dung. Next, the decaying wood or richly manure of the soils, also found in decaying wood, richly manure of the soil. Kirk et al. 2001 mentioned only 85 species of the Pizzyza because of its well-defined curve-shaped apothecia. In 2001 क्रिक त्याने काय केलं की 85 स्पीसीज काय केलेत रिपोर्टेड केलेत मेन्शनड केलेत because it's well defined curve shaped apothecia. The fruiting body apothecia is well developed. त्याच्यावरून त्यांनी काय केले ते 85 स्पीसीज मेन्शन केलेत. नेक्स्ट Pizzyza is commonly called as cup fungus. Pizzyza is commonly called as a cup fungus, look like the cup structure. The apothecium producing fruiting body, the apothecium is always cup shaped, so called as the cup fungus. The Pizzyza aurantia, commonly called as orange peel Pizzyza. Pizzyza aurantia, commonly called as the orange peel Pizzyza. Next, this is the habitats of the Pizzyza. Another first diagram is the present on these wood logs असतील. Next one is dead and decaying organic material असतील, stem logs असतील, after tree trunks असतील, and then is the following the aquatic substrata such as terrestrial substrata, richly humus soils is structure. Is that clear? Next, the vegetative mycelium of the Pizzyza. It is a well developed, frequently perennial and consists of the dense network of the hyphae. Mycelium is a well developed, frequently perennial and consists of the dense network of the hyphae. The hyphae are branched, they having presence of the branches, always septate and septate. These cells are uninucleate. Then next characteristic, the hyphae are hidden from view as they reefy within a substratum. Hidden म्हणजे त्यावरती reefy within a substratum. They form a complex substance systems which extract nourishment from a substratum. The fruiting bodies are above the ground. So epigenes, operculate आपण पहिल्यांदा स्टडी केलं, इथे so called as the epigenes. Is that clear? Next, asexual reproductions. It takes place by the formation of the conidia and chlamydospores. All of you know that the asexual reproduction by the spores such as the chlamydospores. Another one is the conidia. The conidia are exogenously formed. Exogenously म्हणजे आउटसाइड ऑफ द मायसिलियम, म्हणजे त्याच्यावरती काय होतात तर कोनिडिया स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्म होतात. कोनिडिया स्ट्रक्चर एक्झोजिनियसली. स्पोर अँजिओस्पोर इज इंडोजिनियसली and Spoconidia is exogenously formed spores. They are abstracted from a tip of the conidiophore. Abstracted म्हणजे attached from the tip of the conidiophore. Each conidium germinate to form a new mycelium. After maturation, conidia are settle down on the for different substrata, favorable substrata. Then these conidia are germinate into the new individual mycelium. So called this reproduction takes place by the conidiophore conidial structure. The chlamydospores are then next spore is the chlamydospore. Chlamydospores are thick walled resting spores. Because the unfavorable conditions they produces the asexual reproductions, so such as the chlamydospore. Chlamydospores are thick in nature, thick walled resting spores. There are three types of the chlamydospores. All of you know that the terminal chlamydospore, intercalary chlamydospores and basal chlamydospores. They are intercalary in positions. Majority of fungi मध्ये काय होतात तर intermediate basal intercalary in positions chlamydospores. They may be formed slightly on the series within a cells of the hyphae. Within a cells of the hyphae. Under suitable conditions, each chlamydospores germinate and give rise to new myceliums. Under suitable, त्याला जी suitable condition मिळाली ते काय होतात, give arise a new mycelium. Next characteristic, next reproductions is the sexual reproductions. Sexual reproductions pattern in same in Morchella. No defined sex organs such as the antheridia and ascogonia. Antheridia is also known as the male reproductive plant bodies, and ascogonia is a female reproductive plant bodies. The antherozoid is producing plant body and egg cells producing plant body, archegonia, are formed in a majority of the part of the species, including the Pizyza vesiculus, The apothecia are formed either by the somatogamy, copulation of the terminal cells of the two different vegetative hyphae, or by autogamy, fusion of the two nuclei in same vegetative cells. The fusion cells containing the dikaryon. Then the form fusion of the two ascogenous hyphae. These hyphae are multicellular and binucleate. Hyphae multicellular or binucleate. The terminal cell of each of the ascogenous hyphae functions as in the ascus mother cells. This diploid nucleus divide into reductionally, and then 8 haploid nuclei is formed, which get organized into the 8 ascospore. After maturation, each ascospore germinate into the new mycelium, or it's a simple fruiting body. This is a apothecium. Apothecium म्हणजे कप लाईक फ्रुटिंग बॉडी डेव्हलप्स करतात ते फंजाय, आणि त्या फंजायमध्ये कप लाईक ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही VS घेता त्यावेळेस टाईप असेल, हायमेनियम असेल, त्यानंतर ॲस्कस डेव्हलपमेंट असेल, पॅराफायसिस असेल, ॲस्कोस्पोर असेल, आणि एक्सप्युलम असेल. एक्सप्युलम म्हणजे त्याचे जे आउटर जे वॉल असते त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, एक्सप्युलम. ॲस्कस कंटेनिंग 8 ॲस्कोस्पोर. हायमेनियम इज अ फूट लाईक स्ट्रक्चर, म्हणजे बेसचा स्ट्रक्चर त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, हायमेनियम. अँड स्टाईप. Then ascospore in 8. They after maturation the ascospore wall is break, and there the released the 8 ascospore released. The ascospores are generally in haploid in nature. This is description. व्यवस्थित तुम्ही पाहून घ्या. Paraphysis is a sterile organ. Paraphysis help is a liberation of the ascospore. This diagram show the separate of the 3 ascospore, the 3 ascus containing ascospore. Next one is the life cycle. The life cycle, all of you know that the main asexual reproduction by the conidiophore. Another one is the chlamydospore. Then vegetative reproduction, sexual reproduction containing the no reproducing the ascogonia and antheridia, only producing the fruiting bodies such as the ascospore. Apothecium containing the ascus containing the 8 ascospore. Ascospores are haploids in nature. Is that clear? Next, this is a mycelium firstly introduced. the mycelium पासून काय होणार तर कोनिडिया स्ट्रक्चर कोनिडियम फॉर्मेशन होणार. आफ्टर कोनिडियल फॉर्मेशन the conidiophore, and then conidia are arises from the on the conidiophore. These conidia are after maturation they are they fall down on this different substrata, suitable substrata, then the germination and the producing the new individual plant body of the pyzygils. Is that clear? There are takes place in a two reproduction. One is the conidial reproduction, conidiophore. Another one is the chlamydospores. Next, they are sometimes some members are producing in the ascogonia and antheridia. So sometimes the antheridia ascogonia mating to each other, plasmogamy, karyogamy, meiosis takes place. After meiosis, the zygotic form, and zygotic नंतर reductional divisions, and then formation of the ascocarp. Ascocarp पासून त्यामध्ये ascus, and ascus containing the 8 ascospore. The ascos after maturation, the paraphysis they forcefully liberated through water, as forcefully liberated through air as well as the different suitable substrata. त्यापासून काय होणार पुन्हा ॲस्कोस्पोर काय आफ्टर देन ॲस्कोस्पोर इज fall different substrata, and then ascospore, these ascospore germinate into the new individual mycelium. Is that clear? Thank you.